Did you know Susan Kunhausen's husband tried to hire a hitman to kill her, but she survived and the hitman didn't? You see, on September 6, 2006, Susan was on her way home from work where she worked at a hospital as a nurse, and she had read a note from her husband that said he had gone to the beach. That's when she got home, walked upstairs, went into her bedroom, and hiding behind her door was Edward. And Edward was the guy that Susan's husband of 18 years had paid $50,000 to kill her. And he jumps out from behind the door and attacks her with a claw hammer. His first strike is actually to her left temple. But what he didn't expect was that she was actually trained in self-defense. And she immediately tackles him and slams him into the wall. That's when he said the only thing he said to her the entire time: "You're strong." You see, it's at this point that Susan's adrenaline starts to kick in. And she was actually able to wrestle the hammer away from the guy Edward and smack him in the head a handful of times with it. She just kept yelling at him, "Who sent you? Who sent you?" Now, he doesn't respond to anything, and he actually ends up wrestling the hammer back away from her. That's when she grabs him by the throat and starts to squeeze. But he kind of turned blue and then started going purple, and she freaked out thinking she was about to kill him, so she let him go. He drops to the ground and she runs. But Edward was pretty quick, and he caught up to her, stopped her in the hallway, pushed her down, and started brutally bashing her in the face. Quickly, she decided to start biting him in the arm. She figured if she was going to die, at least DNA would be on her teeth, and he would have teeth marks in him to link him back to the murder. Now, during the struggle, and thanks to her self-defense training, she ends up getting back on top of Edward, and this time, she puts him in a chokehold. And not taking any chances, she holds that chokehold until his body goes limp. That's when she picks up the hammer, runs to the neighbor's house, and calls 911. Now, police arrive, and Edward is found laying in her hallway dead. Now, they find some of his personal belongings in the house, along with a journal, or pretty much like a daily planner. And on September 4th, 2 days earlier, there's a note in there that says, "Call Mike," with her husband Mike's number written under there. And 1 week after the incident, they found her husband. He was hiding in Sunnyside, Oregon, and the following day, Susan filed for divorce. Then, almost a year later, on August 30th, 2007, he pled guilty to soliciting a murder-for-hire plot and was sentenced to only 7 years in prison. Now, the entire time he was in prison, Susan said she felt there was always somebody watching her, and she had major issues and anxiety about it. So much so, she decided to pack up and move to Portland, where she spent most of her time on the shooting range just practicing. You see, she felt she had to be prepared for when he got out of prison that he was going to come back for her. But just 3 months prior to him being released, he died of cancer in prison.